National medium of information dissemination is radio. As this year's World Radio Day 2026 is celebrated today, February 13, the lasting impact of radio as a medium that connects, informs, preserves culture, strengthens democracy, and empowers people worldwide cannot be overemphasized. Today on Panorama from Ibadan Network Center on the network service of the NTA, our focus is on radio's past achievements while looking ahead to its evolving future in a digital world with the theme, Radio and Artificial Intelligence. AI is a tool, not a voice. I am your anchor, Kehinde Omolosho. Welcome to the program. The federal government is intensifying security operations across Nigeria's north-central region to protect civilians in vulnerable communities following cowardly terrorist attacks that claimed the lives of about 75 innocent villagers in Kwara State. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement, said the renewed offensive, codenamed Operation Savannah Shield, entails the deployment of military, police, and National Forest Guard units operating under the expanded security mandate President Bola Tinubu established when he declared a state of emergency on national security on November 26. To reinforce security assets in the theater, President Tinubu condemned the Kwara State attacks as heartless and emblematic of a doomed campaign by terrorists who deliberately target subjects. The minister added that the Nigeria Police Force has executed a large-scale redeployment of officers previously assigned to VIP escort duties nationwide have returned to core community policing functions, delivering measurable improvements in security presence across Kwara, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, and the Federal Capital Territory. Mohammed Idris said President Tinubu has consistently affirmed that Nigeria's counterterrorism operations will remain Nigerian-led and sovereignty-driven. Where appropriate and consistent with the nation's interest, the government welcomes broad cooperation, including from the United States and other partners on intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance in support of objectives defined by Nigeria and for Nigerians. 50 years after its defining Africa has come of age, addressed at OAU Summit in Addis Ababa, the Murtala Muhammad Foundation is revisiting the meaning of African sovereignty and leadership question in a rapidly changing world. It was at the 2026 Murtala Muhammad Memorial Lecture Series where Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, represented President Bola Tinubu. Kelvin Ebunaye reports.
A past and current political office holders from across Africa, including two of Nigeria's former presidents. The goal, as envisaged by the Murtala Muhammad Foundation, is to, through keynote reflections and dialogue, translate the legacy of former head of state into action by using his thoughts and governance to strengthen institutions, renew leadership standards, and position Africa on the global stage where its leaders and citizens can pride themselves as Africans. But steps towards this lofty objective have become too slow and uninspiring to the younger generation, and they urge Nigeria to rise to the challenge of leading the continent with transformative leadership.
If Africa has to come of age, Africa has to go at the rate of 9–10% GDP growth every year.
General Murtala Muhammad came to power at a critical moment in Nigerian political history. What distinguished him was his clarity of purpose. He led with a decisiveness and unmistakable sense of national duty.
Murtala's speech was at its core a defense of African humanity. He spoke against systems that denied the African person his or her full worth.
The Murtala Muhammad Memorial Lecture Series is an annual convergence of thought leaders and leading voices on the continent to examine the future of governance and development in Africa.
Our people.
In Abuja, Kelvin Ebunaye, NTA News.
At a time unconstitutional changes of government appear to be gaining ground in some parts of Africa, Nigeria's former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, is urging members of the armed forces to remain professional and committed to democratic governance. This was at the unveiling of a book in honor of Minister of Defense Christopher Musa, titled Military Iconic Leader of Our Time.
The book, The Military Iconic Leader of Our Time, authored in honor of General Christopher Musa, highlights the critical role of military leadership in safeguarding the nation and advancing the vision of a secure, prosperous and united Nigeria. The major character in the book and the Minister of Defense noted that the book stands as a testament to the professionalism of the armed forces, the resilience of Nigerian people, and their collective commitment to building a secure, patriotic, and thriving nation.
Because of the dedication of our armed forces and other security agencies, many communities today sleep in greater safety. Our economic activity is steadily returning to previously disrupted areas.
One after the other, they echoed the need for the military to uphold democratic principles and remain loyal to constitutional authority.
To make sure that, yes, your loyalty to your country, your loyalty to your head of state or leader of the country.
The retired CDS needs every possible support of the National Assembly and, of course, the executive arm of government.
We don't diminish our armed forces because the armed forces is an instrument of national power.
The book highlights critical values including discipline, integrity, patriotism, and selfless service as fundamental to strengthening national unity and align closely with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
The Nigerian Customs Service has reiterated its commitment to strengthening interagency collaboration with the Headquarters Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Adinkai, OPHK, to enhance border security management in Borno and Yobe states. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Borno and Yobe states, Controller Abdullahi Mohammed Idris, made this known during a courtesy visit to the OPHK headquarters. A statement by the Media Information Officer Headquarters Joint Task Force Operation Adinkai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba, indicates that as part of efforts to enhance border security and management, the NCS had deployed geospatial surveillance technology across Nigeria's land and sea borders to improve monitoring and response capabilities. The theater commander, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, emphasized the importance of multi-agency approach to national security in line with the service chief's command philosophy, which prioritizes jointness and synergy among security agencies. Major General Abubakar noted that porous borders remain a major security concern, contributing to the proliferation of small arms and light weapons, which have negatively impacted security in border communities. He stressed the vital role of NCS in curbing such threats. To forestall the infiltration of Osun State by non-state actors from neighboring Kwara State, the Osun State Police Command has strengthened security at Ora Igbomina, a boundary community between the two states, with the deployment of additional personnel. The Commissioner of Police in Osun State, Ibrahim Gotan, while addressing the officers at the police headquarters in Osogbo, charged them to exhibit professionalism and remain vigilant. Femi Afariogun reports.
Drawn from different formations across Osun State, the officers and men will be taking positions at strategic locations within Ora Igbomina, the boundary between Kwara and Osun State, determined to prevent criminal elements from gaining access into the state. The deployment, according to the Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Gotan, became necessary following recent security concerns in neighboring Kwara State.
The IG and the President have ordered comprehensive, total operation there to root out those bandits. And our deployment is a proactive deployment to make sure that those hoodlums, that the perpetrators of those acts do not infiltrate into Osun State.
The Commissioner assured residents that the command is committed to safeguarding lives and property, stressing that proactive policing remains key to maintaining peace and stability across Osun State.
Appealing to members of the public to also be abreast of the situation and ensure they report any suspicious movements to our men.
The Osun State Police Command say the deployment will remain in force as part of sustained effort to keep the state safe. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
We'll now take a break to be back shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back. World Radio Day highlights the importance of radio as an accessible and trusted means of communication the world over. Grace Ayanleke in this report examines the significance and use of artificial intelligence in radio broadcasting on this year's Radio Day, which has as its theme, Radio and Artificial Intelligence. AI is a tool, not a voice.
Listen to the radio. Radio plays key roles in educating, enlightening, and entertaining the public, while serving as a platform for community engagement and cultural expression, especially in the rural and underdeveloped communities. As the world marks year 2026 Radio Day, focus is on the use of artificial intelligence as a tool that can assist broadcasters in achieving many tasks in radio broadcasts.
The role of research is very integral, so AI comes readily available to support media houses, particularly radio stations, in their broadcast responsibility.
You need an information and you are not privy to that information. You ask AI, okay, what do you have? And it will tell you what you need. And you also put your own brain, your intellectual capacity, you also put it on it.
AI can strengthen radio, and as a communicator or as broadcaster, we have to be versatile in the use of AI in terms of training to complement our profession.
Values of ethical standards, editorial independence, and preservation of human creativity to the respondents should be upheld during the use of AI by radio stations.
AI cannot replace radio broadcasting, but it can strengthen it, depending on how the broadcasters or the communicators or journalists embrace AI as it is now.
I will just give a call to radio proprietors and those the CEOs to make sure that their staff gone through the AI training, because it's very, very important for the efficiency and effectiveness of their work in office.
Provide available resources in form of instrument, gadgets, equipment, and welfare package should be reasonably robust.
By embracing innovation responsibly, radio can strengthen its relevance, create opportunities for learning, and amplify real human voices and creativity that can shape and reflect on the society. In Ibadan, Grace Ayonleke, NTA News.
And joining me in the studio to discuss further on this year's World Radio Day is a media expert and retired Assistant Director News and former General Manager of 2 FRCN stations, Femi Oladipo. Thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Now, as this year's World Radio Day explores how technology is shaping broadcasting while keeping the human element alive, how relevant is this to the broadcasting, to radio broadcasting?
It is a good development for Nigeria to be part of the world, because we have had several stages since the radio was established in 1895 by an Italian, Marconi. It is important because we started from manual to technology to digital, and now we are in AI. AI is important for us in radio broadcasting because we should not be left behind, particularly in managing the tools. And after managing the tools, it comes into reducing human factor, human activities in radio broadcasting. That is why AI is important to us in this generation, particularly in Nigeria. We should be part of other parts of the world.
All right, sir, that's the much we will be able to take now. That's the Nigerian Television Authority is going for a live program. Thank you for coming.
You are welcome.
We will now hand over to the network service in Abuja for the live broadcast.